Yo, can you guys hear me? Just let me know quick. Okay, that's great. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a great day, especially with everything going up. Hope everyone's making good money out of this this move up. Stop vaping. No, it's not vaping. I'm actually really. I got really ill from since last night because I was already sneezing on the stream yesterday. Then I ended up getting catching flu and bad cough. And yeah, but let's begin with the stream. Let me share the screen. Market looks insane right now, to be honest. I just don't want to retard bull post to make people FOMO, but everything looks insane. And I think if there are people following me and the streams and the calls from the past days, there's no way people wouldn't be positioned for what's coming and what's already been happening. But yeah, let's before we move on to charts and thoughts and specific stuff. As usual, I'd love to know from you people how your trading has been. What do you think about the market? How are you positioned currently? Anything in general you want to talk about? What made you start crypto, by the way? Seriously, like, man, like we are this close to all-time highs, and this is what you want to hear right now. Um, I'll go over my personal biography sometime later. Um, my life still consolidating. What does that mean? Saul's strength is weak. Could make a big move soon. You said some contradicting words in your statement. No, like Saul strength is weak. Like, what do you mean? Is Saul strong or Saul weak? Or like right now, Saul is catching up decent. So I think which is actually a good indicator, to be honest. As I have said, I never look at ETH running as a positive indicator for alts catch up. It's usually most of the time Saw leading, indicating a bullish rotation into the alts eventually. So Saw leading is overall good for the market. A girl dumped HBJ. Yeah, true. Dan Ramon knows the exact story. In no position, what should we wait for? To let's see. I don't know why you are not in any position. Maybe just buy a spot. Uh, we here spend every day to make people position. Then there is always people who are not positioned. When would we be a good entry if the move missed? The point is on leverage. I don't think this is a good entry, and I don't even think you would get a good entry on leverage if things keep on moving the way they are moving. Just buy a good size spot and then just sit on that. Because the point is that uh, leverage, like I'm heavy leverage right now, but probably I won't be holding it till the max of the fun, right? Those are intraday plays for me. Probably I'll be keeping closer to all time high. That's it. But the actual fun you would be able to extract through your spot plays, through your swing plays, right? Leverage isn't to make the max in a bull market. How to Davis, you're a funny man. Cardano about to go crazy. Yeah, Groot, you have the most unique alts preference in the market always. I'd like to get your perspective on Pepe, as you have mentioned past days. It could, yeah. I think me being swing long on it and having called for the group and still being bullish on it kind of explains my um, my perception on it. Can you chart dodge? Let's have a bit of patience, right? We'll move on to the alts request uh, soon. But yeah, uh, what else do we have? I sold all my position when I see you start the stream. Had to protect myself. Okay, Groot, you'll soon regret, inshallah. Bonk. I think more than Bonk, it's Wef leading. and it pretty much like whiff going up right now, even though I'm not like a lot exposed to whiff right now, or even though I have been shilling whiff a lot in my corner to buy if you are underexposed to sol. I personally have decent sol spot with me, so I just didn't get much into whiff. But if you are someone who is not into sol and looking for some sol exposure, there's nothing better than whiff right now. But coming to the point, with going up, pretty much validates me betting heavy on Pepe. The reason being is that you just saw two green candles on Sol after a long time after this entire bleed, and you could already see how that translated into a 10% move up on VIF, right? So market right now considers no better beta than memes themselves, right? Sol goes up, Sol memes goes up, ETH eventually starts. Right now, ETH is lagging a lot, right? But I believe that it eventually catches up. And once that happens, what do you think would act as the strongest beta to ETH? It would definitely be Pepe. And also another conviction I have on Pepe is that uh, it pretty much reminds me of the Sol 40 to 50 degree. Why did I say degree? 40 to $50 accumulation it went into after its initial parabolic run from $20, right? Did a 3x run, went into this horizontal accumulation phase, right? Look at these highs and these lows and compare that with Pepe, right? To me, it reminds me very much of what Sol did. So probably like a bit more of chop, grind, and eventually move higher. So I'll stick to my Pepe position. ETH swing, I'm always in. Um, Token as my spot swing play probably would add a bit more exposure once I get more confirmation on the market. But yeah, things looking great. Uh, no, I sold because I got beat up the other day and the PNL I was up. I couldn't risk that. That's a good thing to do usually whenever you feel like these are the profits you don't want to lose. Not a bad idea to book those. Tomorrow news, right? Which news? I don't see anything coming tomorrow. Is it? What else do you have to talk about? How many of us are long BTC right now? I think it runs into like at least 73K. That's nice. I think every single person who was on stream yesterday, even if you weren't on the stream yesterday, I like called out a BTC long for the group too. But even if you were on the stream yesterday, we like infinite times talked about how I have a strong conviction of we breaking from here and not going anywhere lower before a break higher. um, I was in as well, but TP'd 71K. Not bad, but next time just stick to some partial profits, right? Like I TP'd 50% of my position and would let remaining run. I think right now isn't a bad area to take partials. That's why I did. Previous high is kind of like where we have rejected gazillion times by now. So not a bad area to be taking some partials out. But when I look at the flow, this Coinbase bids constantly coming up, and now Binance bids catching up. I think we run a bit more before anything of a pullback to assume. Uh, that's why even if I'm wrong, I have booked 50% of my profits, and remaining I'll let run for higher. Just don't short, man. Like I've said enough. The point is, I'm not saying that we can't reject here, right? That's the reason I booked 50% profits. We could potentially reject here. My point is, shift your focus on what's coming, right? You people are literally like, I can't stress enough on what you people are fading for the coming days, right? Right now, you are focusing on catching a 1 to 2% shot rather than thinking of where we are getting in coming days or weeks. Maybe even, we could keep on doing this for a week or two, right? Don't break higher, just keep on creating more and more pain, but eventually what's coming, you can't be fading that, right? Just look at BNB almost breaking all-time highs, ETH consolidating. Um, yeah, we are very close to be breaking all-time highs, no? Yeah. So, ETH consolidating after its initial ETF hype. I don't see a reason how anyone could be high time frame bearish and not be prepared for what's actually coming, because I was there when the 30K run started into 40K and then into 60K, right? The amount of cope that there is across timeline and people crying that they have missed the move, they are not positioned, how do you catch up and stuff like that. Don't get into that once again, right? Market is giving you an opportunity to position for probably the last fun of the bull market that you'd get in coming times, right? Um, don't be a hero trying to catch 1 2% shots and shifting your entire focus on it. Nah, I'm just saying that personally, I believe whenever you start looking for shots, especially like closer to all time high breaks, I'm not saying we can't reject, right? But for me, like at least personally, it could be a bit subjective, but when I start looking for shots, I kind of start to get some bearish instincts within myself, right? I pray for downfall, I hope for a rejection, I pray for things to, just nuke back down. And that makes me lose the high time frame perspective of the market, right? It's not that I'm saying that shorts would get blown out and we are just going insanely, like, one candle up into all time highs and stuff like that. It's a range until proven otherwise, right? As I said, it is not a illogical area to short. But my point is that 3 4 weeks later, when things would be running insane, you wouldn't be happy that 3 weeks ago you caught a 2% short, right? You'd be much happier that you spent that time on researching on how you could be positioned for the narratives, how could you start planning on to your buys if you're not exposed enough. How are you going to play, planning out stuff and all that, right? um those kind of plays, I think you'd get plenty of time when that fun ends, and when things once again get into what we have been getting since March, you'd have plenty of time to try out your scalps and shorting and stuff. For now, I still believe a lot of people are still fading on what's coming, but yeah, I'll just stop bull posting but for now, and let's get back to the market. I think so personally. Like into this, I know it's too early to talk about. Let's first talk about the position for this move, and then once we get the move, then we talk about what next to expect. Uh, you don't think we visit 64K area? I don't. Personally, I don't. Again, anything is possible. I personally think we don't. But I also at the same time think, obviously, if you want to long, then yeah, longing at 64 and versus longing at 70K makes a hell lot of difference, right? But if you are someone who is wanting to get scale into some good narrative spot plays, then buying here or buying at 64K, where probably alts would be like 10 20% lower, wouldn't make much of a difference, instead of you being too much cautious and continuously waiting for 64K while market keeps on going higher. So you just need to weigh down the pros and cons of what you are doing. Will when ETH will catch up? I don't know. I never have time as a factor in my trading confluence. It could take few hours, maybe few days, few weeks, maybe consolidates for a month even. But as long as we are above 3600, I think it's good for a run eventually. Just have a good size swing exposure, low leverage spot on ETH, and then just forget about it. That's the reason I took my ETH swing on Bybit, because Bybit is, and also on another sub account, so that I'm never even looking at that position. I have Opened a good size ETH swing, have a bit of bids lower, and have almost like forgotten about it unless we get a major move to either side. What's a good leverage number to swing spot trade? There is no good leverage number to swing a spot trade. uh, Even if you are on a 3x 2x leverage, there are good chances that you could get liquidated in a market flush. Don't do that. um, Pepe is around your entry right now. Should I re-enter? Again, Groot, up to you. I told you what I am doing. I am transparent about my plays. Now it's up to you whether you want to follow or not. And I have given my logic, true logic too. So yeah, let's begin with the bit on market flow, and then we can, move on to some alts request. Booked 70%. Do you think it's too much? Um, I think having the only thing I would say is that in coming days, if we continue grinding higher on BTC, having somewhat decent BTC exposure would help you not lose mind, right? Because it would be a dominance led rally always, right? Whenever we range break, it's always a dominance led rally where alts and everything lag a lot. And BTC exposure is what makes you the most money. This is what I'll say, that if we, right now, since you have closed, nothing you could do. But if we get any pullback, try to gradually get some BTC exposure in any way you want. Man, Coinbase is bidding like insane. I think premiums, looking at CB premium and stuff like that, is a big gimmick. I really don't believe at looking at premium and stuff. That's like a rookie thing that people use. It's similar to me as people use funding for the analysis. It's like what a 2-year-old does. Um, but yeah, let's switch to my browser screen. You just need to look at the actual flow on what the players at CB are doing. Uh, so yeah, CB kind of still leading this move up. Like since the 66.8 bottom, they have almost been what you would say like 2500 Bitcoin Steve app going on still. Look at this last move up, and one of my confidence that I had on we breaking higher was looking at these CBT waps, right? Especially when that comes within a horizontal accumulation, right? Price going horizontal, someone keeps on T-wapping spot BTC on Coinbase. Usually a good indication if you have other conferences as well that price breaks higher. So Coinbase is kind of still leading. Binance, let's see. Why do you have so many BTC? Where do I have so many BTC tabs on my browser? And are you guys not able to see the browser screen? And also in TradingView, it's not so many BTC tabs. It's actually the spaghetti charts, right? So all of the spaghetti charts do have BTC as the asset you compare your alts changes against, right? So all those are just spaghetti charts. They are not BTC charts. Uh, What is the explanation as to why market participants T-wapping shown by CVD increase leads to price continuing higher? It's not, again, I think we went over that in yesterday's stream as well. Uh, there is no confluence or anything you call like indicator or data in market that you could just look at it in isolation, right? It's not that you see CVD, you see Coinbase CVD going up and you just immediately conclude that it's bullish and you start longing, right? Things, try to bring things into perspective, right? For me, whenever after a push up, BTC price is consolidating, alts and everything else is getting sold off. That's kind of a good trap setup for market to send higher. And then combine that, if for me, there are two kind of consolidations, right? One is where there is no spot strength, right? There is no spot TWAPs from Coinbase or Phoenix or any major exchange. BTC is going horizontal, and at that consolidation, instead of having any spot strength, you see perps getting constantly aggressive on longs, right? People trying to FOMO long that consolidation, and at the same time, alts and some shit coins start running insane. That's kind of completely opposite of what say you had yesterday, right? Yesterday, what we had was spot strength, not much of perps being aggressive, not much of alts running. In fact, most of the alts and majors were getting sold off heavy while BTC just went horizontal. So you just need to bring things into a perspective instead of just looking at a single data in isolation, right? It's not that Coinbase CVD goes up, so it's bullish, start longing, right? You just need to build a story, build a picture, and build like a high time frame perspective of what actually happening around. Uh, Yo, Dan is here. We can also see the three only. Yeah, I don't have. Let me see if I have any VA tabs open. No, I don't. Um, when would you look to add more spot swing exposure in the current market, considering BTC pump dominance pumping higher? Healthy pump. Yeah. So regarding, let's switch back to trading view. Why can't I share my screen? Yeah, here we go. So, Dan, regarding what you asked on adding spot, I think I'll just stick to the current exposure I have. I do want to add more. I'm not saying that that's the only thing I'm just going to keep holding if we continue higher. My point is, regardless of how much I bull post and how much bullish I am, it's still range highs here, right? And especially we are at range highs with really bullish dominance, Bitcoin dominance conditions, right? Which means that this is still a summer price action, right? And there is a good possibility that despite how much bullish we are and despite how much good this chart looks, BTC could keep on doing this for as long as, we don't know that, right? It's a summer price action, it's a ranging price action until proven otherwise. And if that happens, alts could still take a beating, right? So I personally don't want to overexpose unless we get some actual triggers of run into all-time highs, right? And then you might say that it might be late to enter. But to be honest, look at alts prices right now while BTC is at 71, 71.5, and then compare those prices with, let's say, when we were at 65 or even 60K, right? Most of the alts are only like 5%, 10%, 20% higher than that, right? So if you're waiting for an actual break of BTC above this range, you won't be much late in positioning into alts. But if you end up being too early, there is a possibility that it's still summer, right? We are early into June, it's July, and no matter how much bullish price action looks, we could still keep on chopping and ranging for a while, right? Which I doubt, to be honest. I personally have instinct feeling that we break out higher, but I'd personally want to see a breakout on BTC before increasing my alts exposure, because alts fun come way later, right? So even if BTC breaks higher, we won't be missing a lot on the alt side. But at the same time, it's me. I always try to play safe. If you are someone who is really underexposed and feel, wanting to get some good size exposure, then I said in the beginning of the stream, this is the time to be planning on to your spot pies if you are not at all exposed. I personally feel like I am exposed decent. I want to increase exposure, but I'll wait a little, to be honest. Also, I think, and I don't want to talk about this, and we talked about this possibility before too. I think I have a scenario which I don't want to post right now because it would probably like start fudding people. Um, I think what I see, and it's just some guesswork, right? I have zero confidence for predicting that, but I personally feel like what could be a good possibility is that we range a little, right? We Some of the alts start catching up. We break into a bit of alt, maybe not even all time highs, but run a bit of these highs. People get super euphoric on, all time highs coming and stuff like that. Like, for example, what happened when we first time broke the all time highs? You remember the instant, like, 10 20 it was almost like a 8% flush candle on BTC and like a 20 20 30% on alts, right? Again, I'm not sure, but I think like just my instincts kind of tell me that there's a possibility that we just slightly break into all-time highs or like closer to 73K, get people super bullish, do something like this, not anything major, not like a very deep pullback, but kind of a mini flush back into 68 67, and then v-shape buyback into actual bull market starting, right? Like a v-shape vertical buyback. So I think like it's been a very very long time since market has experienced any flush, and right now I don't see a single confluence for calling out a flush, right? Funding's pretty much normal across the board. Not much euphoria around alts on BTC or anything, right? So for me to call that, I would need much more confidence, and probably I'd get that once we start breaking above the highest. But if we get that, I think that would be a good place to place some sting bid, so that if we run the highs and get some quick sell off on the market, buy that immediately with good size and then ride the V-shaped recovery back up. But that's again a lot of guesswork and something I don't have any confidence for calling out. But I think that's a good plan to have. Also, most of the time, you get flushes on the market when BTC breaks some new highs, right? Like, study most of the past flushes. The last major BTC flush, and I'm talking about flushes, not some, like, for example, these pullbacks. These were not flushes. These were like, I would say, FUD related panic sells on the market, right? You remember we had major war FUD and stuff like that. So these weren't like the typical bull market flushes. These were like, some aggressive panic selling on the FUD and stuff like that. But when you look at some normal bull market flushes, most of them we have gotten when BTC was entering a new territory and people were getting like super euphoric, right? Like, for example, BTC was here breaking all time highs. Or, for example, the last time we got flush, immediate BTC flush was right over here, right? Like, this, and I see this very similar to what we have over here. This 40 to 44K range, right, kept on chopping. For the first time, broke above. People got super euphoric, I remember. And that was also the time we were on stream that day, right? Got around 44, 45, and immediate flush down on BTC. Again, that was like nothing higher time frame bearish. That did end up getting V-shaped buyback, right? Then you could ignore this because, this was just a post ETF related sell off. But I think most of the BTC sell off, BTC flushes, a typical bull market flushes, we have seen once BTC enters into a new territory, right? Something that people get like instantly super euphoric, and that's where we like get immediate flush and then we shape buyback into strong highs. So, with all this being said, this is why I believe there would be plenty of time for me to increase my exposure in coming days. Um, if I'm mostly in ETH and some RWA coins for spot, do you think I should diversify it? Uh, I think like this is what my portfolio looks like, right? ETH and RWA. Uh, Pepe I'd still consider as my ETH exposure because Pepe is more of like a ETH beta play to me than like a meme play. And then I have Mog Swing too, which I'd still consider as a ETH play more than a meme play. Uh, I would say have a bit of Sol exposure. Like if I was in your place, and I am kind of on your place, right? And I think I personally would look to have some Sol related exposure, either in form of Sol spot buys, or either in form of like a good Sol meme coin, like probably Whiff. Um, so yeah, I think in coming days, the best way to diversify your portfolio is um, bit of ETH. And by ETH, I don't mean like only specifically ETH. You could pick some ETH memes, or like if you want to play safe, then obviously ETH itself. And then a bit on the Sol side, because I think I posted that few days back that ETH leading doesn't mean death on Sol, right? You read this across CT where people are already calling out local tops or like even cycle tops in Sol, saying that it has already made all-time highs considering its market cap, and now Sol would probably just keep on bleeding and ranging while ETH leads and stuff like that. Don't believe in that, right? We could exist in a market where Sol and ETH strength could coexist, right? It doesn't always have to be one thing leading, another thing dying, right? So I think just having a mixture of Sol and ETH, and by Sol and ETH, you could either play really safe and just have Sol and ETH, or bet a bit on their ecosystems and their memes. And then on the third bucket, I'd have RWA, right? Because I still believe, even though RWA coins have already run strong, but I still believe that once ETH ETF hype starts catching up with the market again, ETH, not ETH, but ETFs itself is something that brings a lot of traction to the tokenization narrative, right? The RWA narrative and funds getting attached to crypto and all that, right? You could see the day ETH ETF got approved, Ondo went up like 20-25% that day, right? It actually outperformed most of the even the ETH betas, right? So RWA narrative would keep on going up as long as ETF narrative keeps on going up, right? So I believe having a mixture of ETH Sol, a bit of into their memes and a bit of RWA, I think that's like a good overall diversification to have. Then someone could say that what about AI? That's one sector of the market I'm not very much into. So not saying that AI won't go up and stuff like that. Obviously, after meme and RWA, AI is like the third. Not third. You could put it on the second after meme. I'd personally put it like on third. Maybe you could do on second. Put it above RWA. But yeah, AI is still one of the leading narratives of the market. So you could. I personally am not too much into AI narrative and the coins. You could try that too. But I personally, the way my portfolio looks like is ETH, Sol, memes, and RWA. Got a BTC shot. One thing I'm looking at is, and I posted that in my corner this evening, that one confluence that. Wait a minute. Okay, it's not flat on Coinbase. Interesting. But I personally just follow Binance charts as my confluences, and we do have this, which is a flat hourly open leading from the demand block. So those are usually like kind of levels that do get revisited. That's the reason I haven't moved my stops up on BTC, because I think there's like I'm still a bit not sure whether we get this, but good chance that we at some stage of market we revisit this flat candle on BTC around which comes around 69K. I would love to revisit the long Harvard spot. That's good. I think if we get a bit of quick sell off, I do want to get in some whiff exposure. Yeah. Did you go over Pepe thoughts yet? Yeah, I did. I'm still holding on to my swing play on Pepe. Thanks HBJ for the suggestion on MacBook the other day. I returned the 16 GB and bought the 128 GB refurbished. Wait, are you telling me that you got 128 gigs of RAM? That's insane. Uh, and the difference is huge. You can suggest me which mouse model are you using with your Mac. Okay, I'll suggest you a good mic mouse too, and I think it's pretty like common with most of the people you see around. That's insane, and I think 128 would be like kind of a overkill unless like you are too much into too much extensive multitasking and 4K editing and rendering and all that stuff. I personally went with 64 gigs, and I feel like it's decent. But yeah, overall, going with the I'm a developer, but so yeah, that's good. Uh, Going a bit excessive with your RAM is never a bad decision, so that's something you did good. Mouse, I would let me search the model on this. Yeah, it's Logitech MX Master 3. I don't think you would find a more comfortable mouse than this, and even a more um like what you would say, uh even more convenient mouse. This you get some extra buttons. The scroll is insane, right? I Some of the times when I'm getting bored with my trades, I just keep on playing with the scroll, because it has that infinite scroll where you just like slide it down and it keeps on rotating. So yeah, it's like the most common mouse among people who look to spend a little on mouse. Yeah, Dan Raman, that's something interesting. How does it actually work? Like, does this mouse store the data in itself, and then, like, for example, if I end up getting a PC too, how would me copying something from my Mac work, transfer data into my PC or what? Like, so you need to have the app on both of the platforms, right? And probably the data goes into the cloud, and then you could download it from the yeah the But that's actually a useful feature to have. But yeah, overall, love this mouse, to be honest. Um, and it's also super durable. You don't know how many times I've thrown it on the floor. It's pretty much really like messed up, but it's still working great. And the battery timing is insane too. I think I just charge it once a month, probably, or like twice a month. That's it. Type C charging, once a month, twice a month, and it never dies on me. Okay, that's another good suggestion. I was actually looking for a keyboard which feels like very similar to the the original Mac keyboard. Like I am still using Mac keyboard and the mouse along with that, and probably since I'll be switching to multiple screens system soon, so I was actually looking for a mouse. Oh, sorry, I was actually looking for a keyboard that gives the similar, keyboard feel as Mac. Could you mention the exact, um, like the model and stuff on what keyboard you are talking about? Logitech MX keys. Okay, that's good. I look have a look on it. Uh, okay, let's come back to market. I think members are getting annoyed on we just having a mouse keyboard Mac discussion. Yeah, educational stream. Also, another good gadget that I got, and I think I've shilled that enough on my past streams, is this Anchor power bank that I got. I know I'm really obsessed with it. The power it uh you know gives and the capacity it has, and overall like yeah. Okay, let's come back to the market. BTC is at a tricky spot, to be honest. Like if this wasn't for this flat hourly open, I would have started looking for some longs, to be honest. But mm, yeah, in dominance bullish conditions, I really don't want to, because if we do end up getting this flat wick out, alts could get a hit. So yeah, let's wait a little. I do want to get into whiff, but let's wait. Let's be patient on leverage. On especially on alts leverage. That's nice. I think it's I didn't see because I did a good research on getting a power bank, and my need of power bank I tried to explain in detail in previous streams, and why I require a power bank because of my mic interface and stuff. I cannot have direct DC supply to my laptop because that creates voice distortion and stuff. So I had to look for a good power bank to power throughout my stream, and I didn't find anything better than this Anchor 737 250 watts. I also got the charging station for it, and the best part is the issues with power bank is most of the time you end up forgetting to charge the power bank itself, right? Now due to the power base or the power station or like the base you have, you just need to like put it on it. It has a magnet and it just charges within an hour or two. So overall great. Still think wait a little to face a bit more on Pepe. Again, Groot, I can't just keep on talking about Pepe, or again it's the swing. It's actually below my entry right now, right? So if you want a bit lower to enter, you want to enter here, it's completely up to you, man. I am already in. My position is underwater. I don't care about it. I'm not even looking at it. I eventually am bullish on the structure. I think these lows hold. As long as they are holding, it could keep on doing whatever it want to, and I would still be in the play. Also, Dan, does this keyboard like do they have a variant of this keyboard without this numpad? Because I don't usually use that, and it isn't there on the MacBook too. So it would give a better feel if it's just the keys alone, like the alphabet keys alone, on the same model. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'd probably get that one. Marcus, I have called out like a low leverage spot play in the description of the play I called out. I personally took it on leverage, low leverage. You could do it on spot, because in the end, what matters is the position size, right? You could be on spot and risk way more than a leverage position, or you could be on leverage and risk way less than on a spot position. So in the end, it just matter. What matters is your position sizing. Okay, that's good. F3. I personally never used this button. That's surprising. Ah, now I see the use. How could I be a Mac user for almost like 5 years and never use this button? Never mind. I only use the for this purpose. I use the command tab when you like you know press them together. They it just pops shows you all the apps that are open and you can just like switch and onto them. But this use seems useful too. Samir, I could agree that these rejections on ETH. Okay, let's have a talk on ETH. I think we haven't went over ETH in the stream. uh, I think my plan on ETH remains unchanged regardless of whatever it does. One thing before even we dive into ETH and how it looks is that a fact is in most of the bottoms and start of runs, ETH is the worst looking structure at that particular time, right? For example, the time we bottomed at 60K, like 2 weeks back it was, or like a week back, you remember how bad ETH looked, right? Or on any previous macro bottom or any bottoms we have had before runs, you, ETH is always the worst looking asset at that particular time, right? So if you end up forming your market bias just because of ETH, you'd probably get trapped by the market, right? So now coming back to how ETH looks, to me it doesn't even look that bad, right? And again, even if it starts looking really really bad, I would still not care, because as I said, my confidence and my bias on market is BTC related, right? And for me ETH could look as bad as it wants, because most of the bottoms ETH does look bad, right? That's kind of a fact in most of the previous bottoms. uh but for me it doesn't look bad. We are still pretty much holding well above 3600, this pivot level. And also another thing that makes me a bit bullish on ETH is that, let's talk about having a bearish bias here on ETH and calling out a top here on ETH, right? For me, after a strong run up, the only way I could see that that move gets retraced back down in this manner is that if I begin to see some distribution signs, right? Like, and for me, a distribution size sign is like a good ranging price action where we see liquidity grabs at top and bottoms, and a long distribution with weak looking price action that eventually breaks lower, right? I with my experience, I really can't call such a tight consolidation as a distribution phase, right? Like you never get to have runs up, very, very tight consolidations and then back down, unless it's some low liquidity shitcoin that got shilled or, got manipulated and stuff like that. That's only place you see such tops. On majors, if such tight consolidations come after a push up, high probability that those consolidation breaks to upwards, right? On intraday it could look as bad as it wants. I'd still keep on looking at it as a tight consolidation which would eventually run higher. That's my bias, right? uh ETH is the worst asset to be having an intraday bias on, right? ETH just is a asset of its own class, to be honest, so I'm not even focusing intraday on it. As I said, that's the reason I'm swing long on it since 3740ish. Maybe even goes back there, maybe even goes a bit lower into 3600s, whatever. But as long as we are within this tight consolidation, I think we run up higher. That's my bias. um, so yeah, I hope that answered your question. This is really small wick on that PTC one arc, and there is a small. Cartman, which exchange are you looking at? Binance futures? Are you serious? Are you talking about the hourly candle that I am talking about? Wow. Okay. You are actually correct, man. Good point out. Wow, you might have changed my short-term bias on the market by this. This was my mistake of not zooming in because for me, flat is flat. Even if there is a small wick, then it is no longer flat. Thanks for pointing out. Okay, let's see. That does give me a bit more confidence of taking some plays if things remain good. I'll probably wait a little closer to daily close, but yeah, good mention. Is there? What's the name of the indicator? Flat open? Flat open candle. Is this the one? Okay, let me remember when we had a flat hourly candle on BTC and does it even show it? I think this was the time we had the flat candle, no? Why isn't this indicator showing anything? Yeah, this was for sure a flat open. So why isn't the indicator showing anything? Ah, this green point out? Ah, it is showing, so yeah. Okay, that's a good mention. So this was a flat candle. This for sure was a flat candle. This was good mention, man. I think sometimes I learn a lot on this being on the streams too. Yeah, good indicator. Saves me the trouble of doing this, to be honest, like to giga zoom in and then see whether it was flat or not. Wait, how is it showing this as a flat candle? Okay, this was, so yeah, good indicator. Floki showing strength, is it? Are we in the wrong ETH meme right now? Wow, it does kind of look good, doesn't it? But not a good place to be entering right now. Let's look at spaghetti charts. Wait, why is Uni this much leading right now? Why is the shitcoin up 24% on the day? Insane. Sick. Sushi banned. Let's look at banned. Hmm. uh, Where would you put stink pits for BTC if we do get a flush? So you are talking about the plan we discussed earlier, right? That once we go into 73, and that's where you could expect a flush. Let's see. Again, I'm not, creating a panic beforehand. As I said, that's just a guesswork for now, right? We do get some flush triggers whenever such things happen. So if I begin to get that, I'd probably try to inform people beforehand. But if you want to do that, usually a good flush bidding rule is, and if you really want to be prepared for it, have a 8 to 10% bid on BTC. 8%, I would say. Yeah, maybe even 6 to 8. But I think 8 to 10% is a good range on BTC. 15, 10 to 15% on Sol and ETH, right? So 8 to 10% on BTC, uh, 10 to 15% on Sol and ETH, and 20 to 30% on alts, right? That's a good percentage lower that you should layer down your bets for bidding the potential flash dump. So whatever price is there, you just place this many percentage down your bets and you do well. Are you planning to compound BTC at 69? Yes, I am. True is teasing so much. Yeah, I'm not in True, but I have been waiting for that reclaim myself as well. If it ends up doing this, would be a good play. What's that tool to use to view the entire market's charts? It's not a tool to view entire markets. It's spaghetti chart. Uh, that reminds me, spaghetti chart. Yes, you could. I think Dal has a. If you go on to the Dal thread in the talents, you'd see there mm, a template for a spaghetti chart. You could probably add that, but you also need TradingView subscription to run that. Let's create a meme bucket right now, or just learn to create a spaghetti bucket or a spaghetti chart by yourself, right? And the people who are asking in the last stream, just look at it quick. So you open up a BTC chart, go to the 1 minute time frame. Instead of candlesticks, switch to lines, and then start adding your coins that you want to through this add button. So let's create a meme spaghetti chart right now. So let's add Pepe. Let's add Floki. Let's add Mog. Let's add Whiff. Let's add Bonk. Let's add Dodge. Let's add Shib. What others am I missing? Brett maybe? Nah, Brett no. It's a weird meme coin that moved on its own. Um, what else? Popcat maybe. And then we could have. What else could we have? Okay, that's enough, I think. Floki, Popcat, Pepe, yeah. So what are memes doing? Hmm, kind of nothing much. Like zoomed out, I think Mog, Floki, Dodge are the leading ones. And Pepe being the worst performer for today in the meme bucket. Token? Token isn't a meme coin, man. It's RWA. Jito is holding surprisingly well. I know it's a painful coin to trade, but I'm getting a feeling also after the Sol strength. Let's look at RSI ads below 50. Hmm. Yeah, let's wait a little. I don't know why I don't see your screen every time. What's the issue you are facing? Like, try like post the screenshot of what you see on the stream in this chat. Uh, can you take a look at Bonk? Okay. I think Whiff is kind of leading right now from the Sol meme bucket. But for Bonk personally, I want to see Flip higher first. Right now, it's just weak right below it. Wow, what a rejection on Bonk, man. Some of the coins aren't giving me some good feelings, to be honest. Yeah, coming back to your question, not interested in Bonk until it flips back 3400, this daily level. I think there's a good chance Bonk does something like this. Yeah. Just don't push on alts right now. I'm not getting that much of a good vibes out of alts. Samir, I don't know why you are getting this because it's if it's working for the other 60 members, then this is something. Maybe try updating your Discord app, or I think even sometimes running a VPN where Discord fixes a lot of bugs too. So try running the stream with the VPN turned on, maybe. Or if you have already turned on, then maybe switching the server on the VPN or like turning it off maybe works. Bonk, no, Bonk in the challenge got stopped way before, like yesterday night. What about Pepe? Pepe, I'm still in. I'm long and short PTC. Where do you TP on the BTC short? I think like if you caught a good entry, then probably let it run risk free, like into 69Ks. I think this is what kind of could be a good play on BTC. A bit more of rejection and then run back up. I think this is a good, like, quick rinse of the market. If BTC does this, alts take a hit again. Like, just repeat yesterday's playbook, do something like this, and then run back up. Alts rejecting a lot. That's a good thing, man. I don't know why you people get scared every time alts get sold off while BTC just gets down a little. That's the most bullish environment you could be in. You want a dominance led market right now, which is kind of you are getting. Alts would have plenty of time to catch up eventually. I think this was a good shakeout on BTC. We probably trend back soon. XTA depends on you, man. Like, if you're already in what position size you wanted, what's the point of DCing? DCing isn't a magic strategy of keep adding if the price is lower. You just go into a play of the position size you plan to and then just let it run. Uh, do you ever set alerts for 4 hour closures above higher time frame? Nah. Like, I do set alerts around levels, but not like specifically for 4 hour closes. Let's look at the flow. Like, my overall logic is that when BTC is looking really bad, like doing something like this, is at lows, no major bounce, just grinding closer and closer to lows. And if then alts look as bad as they do right now, I would be super cautious on the market. That's probably the time I'd look for shorts and look like have no upside exposure and stuff, because that's where if BTC breaks down, everything, all those weak looking alts nuke down, right? But in condition where BTC is actually super bullish and alts look really bad, most of the time they just bait people into breakdown and eventually they start catching up. Maybe take some time, maybe few days, but I don't see anything bearish until BTC keeps on looking this bullish. I think this was a good shake off on the market and we trend back up. Yeah. I am now debating between whether I should long a little whiff or Jito as a sol play. Memes are a bit weird to trade. So maybe let's go with Jito, to be honest. And look at the strength on Jito. Like while all the alts did this, Jito is still consolidating. So let's long some Jito. I'm calling out for the group. STX bullish. Yeah, I've seen it showing some strength on lower time frame. Also, AR looks really good. We talked about it in yesterday's stream. Great looking push from these range highs. But yeah, STX on intraday, yeah, it's showing a bit of strength, but high time frame looks really bad on it. Yeah, not much interest in coins that look like this, to be honest. I think it does something eventually like this. Maybe, I don't know, but not interested. Even 3-day looks really bullish, man. I think this is kind of a coin that I might buy a bit of spot, to be honest, as my sol exposure. 3-day looks insane with this consolidation above this level. And look at this perfect 50 level hold and retest on 3-day RSI. Yeah, I think I might just buy, like, apart from this long, I might buy some good size spot on it soon. Yeah, I still don't see any top triggers on BTC, to be honest. I think maybe a bit more of this and then run higher. Let's see. The Jito is like probably the first alt long I took in the past 2 days, and is the only one I'd just stick to for a while. Other than that, just don't over risk. Like even if you're taking Jito play, just don't risk anything more than like 1 to 2% max of your account. I would keep on repeating that alts could keep on dying while BTC could keep on looking bullish, right? So just don't over risk on alts intraday leverage. Like, and intraday plays, I mean, like, plays like this where you have a tighter invalidation and tighter targets and stuff like that. Alts intraday could be choppy a lot. How do I turn BTC to the line chart? Harry, you retard. I just talked about this like 10 minutes ago. Where's my. Uh, so go to the top panel where you have this BTC and the time frames. Uh, and instead of candles, go on to the line, right? Got, you're welcome, crypto. Yeah. Okay, I think due to my flu and stuff, I'm just getting super tired. So I think I'll just end the stream here. My take on the market to just end the stream probably remains the same. If you ever start to feel, scared looking at your alt bleed, looking at ETH, looking at majors and stuff like that, you start to get bearish, you start to lose conviction on the market. Just take a time to zoom out and see how good this chart looks on BTC, right? And this is what you actually want, right? Even if you have zero BTC exposure, even if you are you want to be bullish on your bags, you need to be bullish on BTC first, right? You get no alt season unless BTC eventually runs into new highs. That's like anything of a sort of alt season you get in between this range, it's really short lived, and we have seen that in the past. Actual prolonged alt season could only come once BTC runs into new highs, attracts more retails, people start chasing that, BTC moves through your alts. So that's where the good things would come, right? So whenever you start to lose conviction on the market, focus on BTC. And in my opinion, it still is one of the most bullish looking charts in the market. So that's it from my side. Hope you people had a good time. Take care. Just don't over risk on intraday alts. I'll keep on repeating. But yeah, that's it. Take care. Have a good time. Allah Hafiz.